today our topic is why teens struggle with driving. This is our learning target for success. I'm a state certified driving instructor. I teach in the Midwest. I've been doing driver's ed about 24 years. Let's go ahead and get it. Let's go ahead and talk about it and let's be successful. Testing is in progress. I want to welcome you in. So, lack of experience. We know as adults, and driving does not make you an adult. We know as adults, skill development is really important. Driving requires coordination. It requires spatial awareness. It requires the ability to process multiple stimuli at one time. Teenagers are still developing these skills. So what I need you to do if you're going to be a coach, calm down. Take a step back. Teens just don't know everything, and you can't expect them to. Next, reactions to unpredictable situations. I have to drive today in about a half an hour. In my mental mindset, I want to be confident. I want to be friendly. I want to be very friendly. And I want to be kind because there's going to be stress in the situation when the client drives. So I have to have my composure. And driving is about composure because unexpected things happen all the time. A car might run a light. Someone might walk out in front of us. And as an instructor and as an adult, it's my responsibility to calm the client down, to make them feel appreciated, and things happen. We learn from every time we go out into the car, every time we go down the street, every time we drive in the neighborhood. It's a learning opportunity, and that's the way you need to take it. Experienced drivers encounter a wide variety of driving scenarios and can quickly and appropriately adjust. Teens lack the breadth of knowledge. Oh my God, there's a car coming up. What do I do? They instantly panic. If you just joined us, our learning target is why teenagers struggle with driving. I'm a state certified driving instructor. I'm in the Midwest, and testing is in progress. And I want to welcome you in. We're talking about why teens struggle with driving. Put your comments in. Next, risk perception and decision making. The brain development. Did you know that the brain does not fully develop until age 25? So if we have people who are 14-9, that's 25, 24-9, 15, that's 25-9, 16, that's 26. So we as a collective group of adults and driver's education professionals need to allow for some variances. What does this mean? Sometimes Junior might run a red light. Oh, I didn't see it. Or sometimes little Sally might be staring at the football player walking down the street. So we've all been there, but you need to really support them and help them. Brain development, the prefrontal cortex. I'm getting deep now. This is responsible for decision making and impulse control. It continues to mature into the mid-20s. The development stage affects a teenager's ability to evaluate risk. What does this mean? They're going really fast down the street. They're little kids playing. They're going really fast on the highway. A truck is merging out. They're going really fast on the main thoroughfare. The speed limit is 35. So we as adults need to take a step back and breathe and tell that young adult, listen, try to focus on what I'm saying. You're going to lose focus sometimes, but come back. Impulsive behavior. We all know what that's like. I did it, something impulsive. I bought a track hawk, over an $80,000 vehicle. I made a huge financial mistake, but I learned from that mistake. And next time, I will make a better decision. If you guys and ladies made mistakes, type in the mistakes you had. Next, teenagers may act impulsively without fully considering the consequences that lead to risky behavior. Sounds like a teenage party on the weekend, right? No, when you drive, it's a party of sorts because you're going to get visual stimulation, your eyes, you're going to get mental stimulation, you're going to get tactile stimulation because that car is going to accelerate. So I try to reduce some of that stimulation. If you're just joining us, Our learning target for success is why teens struggle with driving. I'm a state certified driving instructor. Testing is in progress. I want to welcome you in. You have questions, you put those in. Distractions. This is a big part of why teens struggle so much. The proliferation of smartphones and infotainment car systems provide a potential source of distraction forever. Passengers. Having friends in the car can be a major distraction. Why do you think a lot of states across the United States limited the number of people in the car? Because the more teens you have in the car, the more likely you are to crash and get distracted. Parents, caregivers, you need to have a conversation with your son or daughter. You need to build that trust. More on that later. Next, overconfidence. Let's get right down to it. Boys are more overconfident than girls. Isn't that weird that boys have more accidents than girls? Males' insurance rates are higher because males tend to drive much more aggressive and much more faster. Self-analysis. Many teenagers overestimate their driving skills. This leads them to taking risks. I'm going to drive straight from here to Texas. It's over 21 hours. Oh, I'm going to drive straight from here to Texas without really thinking about it. A lot of teens take risk. Mom and dad, I'm not talking about the type of risk when you're gone and they got friends over. I'm talking about the type of risk where they're overconfident, such as speeding, aggressive driving, underestimating the danger of certain situations. Driving in downtown Detroit, Michigan, downtown Houston, Texas, downtown Los Angeles, California. There are thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people walking. Some will obey the crosswalk light, some will not. We have delivery trucks. Mom and dad, do your teen and you a favor. Take them on that downtown. I don't want to go down there. It's too many people. Mom and dad, they're going to go get down there with or without you. Trust me, because they're adventurous. They don't want to stay home and watch you sleep and lay on the couch. They say, Mom and Dad, you are bored. You are boring, Mom and Dad. Let's face it. So get out with your son and daughter. Drive with them on that nice drive. Peer pressure. We got to talk about peer pressure. The big elephant in the room. Elephant? No, peer pressure. Peer pressure. Influenced by your friends. Peer pressure can lead to teenagers engaging in dangerous driving practices to gain approval or avoid ridicule. We all have had peer pressure. I used to get teased because I was really tall. But now I'm very confident because I believe in myself because my mom and dad taught me that to be kind, not to bully people, even when they're trying to bully you. And at the end of the day, I became a better person. And parents, you need to tell those stories because they need to know, Mom and Dad, I love you and appreciate you because your son and daughter want your approval. That's all they want. They want to be acknowledged by you, right? What is our learning target? Why teens struggle with driving? We're going deep into this. You got questions? Put them in. I'm your instructor. This is me. Testing is in progress. I want to welcome you in. I'm a state certified instructor. I teach in the Midwest. Social acceptance. This is so important today. We always want to belong to a peer group. I drag race. I build computers. I overclock my PC to get it up to 5.5 gigahertz. Those are my social groups. Imagine if I was going to an event in Texas and I have to get there as fast as I can. What's going to happen? I'm going to drive so fast, I'm going to get a ticket. Parents, we are emotional beings. Don't think we are not. On the scale, let's talk about this. We want our sons and daughters to be brave. We want them to be confident. We want them to be enthusiastic about learning how to drive. But the reality is, a lot of teens and young adults don't want to drive. They don't want to be here. They simply want to stay at home. So mom and dad, you're going to have to kind of push them. I need you to get out and drive. I need you to take your road test. So it's super important. And peer pressure can take many different forms. It will manifest itself into many different areas. Let's continue to talk about this. Next, social acceptance. People want to belong to a social group. And it's hard to walk away from your friends who accept you for who you are and what you've been all of these years. So we as a teen and as a young adult, we have to really push ourselves to have that open conversation. We want to have communication. The desire to fit in can overshadow the awareness of safe driving. Emotional validity. We're getting deep into the brain. Intense emotions. Teenagers often experience strong emotions, such as anger, roar, such as excitement, woo, such as that can also impact driving. So we want to try to keep our sons and daughters consistent on an emotional path. I'm kind of wild too myself, those of you who know me. Let's talk about night driving because I've been through it. And if you're listening right now, night driving can be very overwhelming. Visibility challenges the instructor and the person sitting next to me. And many of these young people have never been in a car at night. So it's scary. I'm going to talk about this. Night driving reduces visibility. That's your ability to see. It makes it harder for you to judge distance and speed. So a lot of beginning drivers, young drivers, less than 10 years of experience, I don't want to drive at night. You drive to the airport. No, Junior, I need you to go to pick up your grandma. I don't want to go. I got a stomachache. You stayed out to 9 o'clock. It's just 10:30. Go get your grandma. I don't want to go, right? So it's really important that you understand their perspective. This might be a good time for you, mom and dad, to go with them on that night drive. You're probably saying, no, 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 no. That's your job. It is part of my job, but you birthed them and you brought them into this world and they matriculated to 15 or 16. So we have to share that responsibility. Fatigue. A lot of people get tired. They don't want to admit. Teenagers are more likely to drive when tired, especially after a late night football game, and also impaired driving. So we got to have that honest conversation again. What is our learning target? Why teenagers struggle with driving? I'm a state certified driving instructor. Class is in session. Testing is in session. I want to welcome you in. We're talking about the emotional scale of how important that is that we lay a good foundation. And I'm going to break this down for you. Emotional building blocks. We all go through these building blocks all the time. Right now, I feel friendly. Also, I'm kind. And I feel very confident because I'm giving you information because I'm a passionate instructor. Let's talk about right turns on red. It's a red light. That means stop. S-T-O-P. You have to stop. Next, after you stop, you look left. Is it clear? Okay. You look to the right. Is it clear? Okay. Oh, you didn't check the sign. It says no turn on red. And mom or dad or student, if you turn on red, you're going to get a ticket and fail your test. You always want to grow. You always want to get better. This is for all of you who are here. Let's continue. Substance abuse, alcohol and drugs, because in segment 2, we deal with drug awareness, gift of life, and we go stay balling, baby. We gonna stay crispy. We gonna stay balling for life, real life. Right? It's true. Okay. I love it. So substance abuse, drugs and alcohol. Marijuana is the gateway drug. Cigarettes are a gateway drug. The cigarettes lead to smoking marijuana. Marijuana leads to alcohol. And if students get caught in this, then we have to support them. We have to help them. Our sons and daughters are not throwaway people. I'm going to say this again. If our sons and daughters take this unfortunate path, we need to come to them, no matter how difficult it is. You're going to have a lot of sleepless nights. You're going to have a lot of tears, but it's our responsibility. We're losing too many young people to alcohol and drugs. Peer influence. Mom and dad, as soon as your son or daughter leaves the house, it's peer influence. Your daughters, they putting on that short skirt. Your son, he's got his clothes in the back so he can look cool around his boys, not the bow tie and straight leg pants. You know what I'm saying? So I have to tell you a story. I had a young lady, when her mom would go to work about 11:30 at night, she would sneak out the house at 12:30. She would have her party dress on. She would go see her boyfriend. And when her mom would come back at 6:45 in the morning, she was pretending she was asleep. This is a true story. Next, let's talk about speed. Speed is very toxic. If you're running late, teens and adults, you're going to speed. The one lesson that I learned, leave earlier. I can get there in 3 minutes, doing 80 in the neighborhood, blowing through stop signs, and then you're going to kill someone because everyone has a video camera or a Ring doorbell. I need you to understand this. And it's all about attitude. It's nothing but love here. I'm preaching real to you because I live this lifestyle every day because I drive at 2:30. It's 2:06 Eastern Standard Time. So I'm telling you the real emotional situation. And right now, I'm on that friendly. And right now, I'm being brave and confident. My young adult who needs road test prep, they're probably definitely uncertain. They're probably definitely a little nervous, and they could be overconfident. So me as an instructor, I got to keep check of my emotions. I can't get too upset if they make a mistake. I can't get too happy if they do something well. I really have to control my emotions. And if you're a parent or you got a young brother or sister, you need to tell your brother or sister, simmer down, bro. Calm down. We're not trying to die. Next, sleep deprivation. The thing I learned a few years ago, trying to make all this money, if you don't get sleep, you're going to fall asleep at the wheel. You're going to snap on clients, right? Peace. Hey, what's up, E? How you doing? We talking real. You're going to love this. I'm glad that you're in. I really appreciate you. Thank you for the happy Friday. So sleep deprivation, biological changes. Teens' biological clocks shift, making it hard for them to fall asleep and wake up. Everyone does struggle. Real talk. Real talk. They struggle. I struggle. You struggle. We all struggle. We're human. And to make a mistake is to err in the side of caution. So we want to try to be friendly. I'm a very friendly person. We want to try to be confident, but not overconfident, but also be humble. Okay? Because you can get humiliated if you think you're better than everyone and you pull out in front of a car, then you're going to get hit. I'm here with you, Z. We'll figure it out together. But you'll be able to translate. Next, busy schedules. School is just out. A lot of us are going to wake up at 6:30, 5:45. Me too. I'm an educator. I wake up at 5:45. I'm not used to waking up 3 hours later because I'm on the summer schedule. But don't think, right? Driving is a privilege, not a right. Facts on that. It is a privilege, not a right. Hey, let's talk about our learning targets for success. Why teens struggle with driving. And if you didn't learn at 19, you're in your 30s, 35, 37, 41, 42. Okay, our learning target. I am your host. I'm a state certified driving instructor. Testing is in progress. I live in the Midwest and we're talking about driving, right? Let's go ahead and get it. Okay, let's go ahead and be aware. Okay, so now busy schedule. School comes first. I'm an educator. It's all about getting those advanced degrees, bringing more value, making more money. Okay, I'm an entrepreneur too, but you got to sleep. You got to dream. Okay, I'm going to take over the world. What's your dream? I got to develop my plan. So we all have a dream. Okay, I have a client. He wants to get into the NFL, XFL. He's going to be going to Houston, Texas next month. We got to get this client ready. Okay. So have confidence in yourself. Never let anyone put you off the block. And meaning we all stand firm. And when people push you off the block, this could be someone who's jealous of you, envious, who wants to hate, real life. So I'm always about positivity. My mom and dad taught me that don't be around negative people who are going to hold you back or pull you down. So you do have to rest. And many teens need 8 hours, 9 hours, but you're studying at 12 o'clock midnight, operating on 4 hours of sleep and an energy drink. We're not mad at you, but that lifestyle, you will crash. You do have to be very diligent. You have to be very prepared. E, you're coming with knowledge today. Bam. Lack of familiarity with rules. Teens don't follow rules. They're going to blow through that light. They're not going to stop. They're going to go. So You, as an adult, have to coach them up, have to prepare them. Lack of familiarity with rules on the road, inexperience. While teens may know the basics, they often lack a deep understanding of road rules. What does a yield mean? What does a four-way stop mean? What if the traffic light doesn't work? You got to do a four-way stop. How do I merge on an expressway if a large semi is coming and no one lets me in? These are real situations, mom and dad. And if you overlook it, your teen is simply going to crash mentally and emotionally. So teenagers lack the basics, real world experience. Ding, 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 ding. Older sister, older brother, uncle, auntie. This is your time to bond with your niece or nephew. They don't really want to drive with mom and dad because mom and dad, I'm sorry, you scream at them. You humiliate them. Oh my God. Don't scare the parents. Uncle, auntie, this is your chance to bond with your niece or nephew and teach them how to drive, right? Real world application. Practical application of driving rules in various scenarios that comes with time and experience. Teens don't want to wait. They want to drive now. They want the job now. They want to be on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram now. They want to be a brand ambassador now. They don't want to put the work in. You got to put the work in. Hey, what is our learning target for success? Why teens struggle with driving? I'm your host. I'm a state certified driving instructor. Testing is in session. And I don't want to welcome you in. We're getting real today. If you got questions, you put it in. Migration strategies, the graduated license, parental involvement, education, technology, public policy. Education can't do it alone. I'm in education. Unfortunately, a lot of public schools have stopped driver's education. It's too expensive. My salary is too expensive to have 4 or 5 cars, to have insurance, to have gasoline. It needs to go back into the schools. I'm a firm believer in public education, and we need to have more parental involvement. Sally and Jeff, if you're listening, your mom and dad need to be more involved. You show them this. Uncle Driving with Myles said you're not involved enough. You tell them. They have to be involved. Education, comprehensive driver education programs with theoretical and practical components can improve a driver's skill and knowledge. That little driving range behind the high school, 3 traffic lights, a little figure 8, a curve. Parents, your sons and daughters can't drive in rush hour traffic. Why are you setting them up to fail? Then, on the emotional building blocks, they're going to be very anxious. You're going to have a driver who's going to crash. They're going to be disappointed when you scream at them. They're going to shut down. Next, they're going to feel uncertain. Okay? And if someone is uncertain, they're going to crash. And it's really important. I teach adults and I teach teens. I have a special formula and a program for my adults and for my teens. And I'm giving you real life experience. You got questions, put it in. I have 15 more minutes and you're going to get the full 15 minutes. Technology. You know your cars are spying on you, right? You know your phones, once you sync them to the car. Automotive manufacturers can tell how fast you're going, who's driving, where you're driving, how many stop incidents, how many hard braking incidents, how many acceleration incidents. That's a whole nother program that I'm going to talk about. Public policies enforcing stricter laws around distracted driving. A lot of states have cracked down, hands-free. It's there to improve safety. Graduated license. I'm all for this, right? Programs that gradual exposure. If you have anxiety, gradual exposure. Drive in the neighborhood. Go around the block 12 times. Hand over hand in, hand over hand out. In the United States, we primarily do hand over hand. In the UK, Australia, they drive manuals. They do hand to hand. Those of you who are watching, do you do hand over hand? Do you do hand to hand? Are you driving an automatic or a manual? I need you to put that in. Let's continue. Cognitive development, We're talking about the brain. We know that teens do not fully develop until they're 25. If you're 14, 24, 25. If you're 15, 25. If you're 16, 26. It's really important for you. Advice for someone who has errors. Take your time. Bring your caregiver with you. You need to have your coach, your instructional driving ed coach in the front seat. They are the passenger. They're going to be your eyes because maybe you missed something in driver's ed. Maybe, Jay, you need to become a channel member and subscribe. Then you're going to get more compact information. I'm going to be rolling this out very soon. Driving is a multitask situation. What do I mean? If we go to a downtown area, you got people walking, trucks delivering, people yielding, cars backing up. We do not want to fry or overstimulate a young person's brain. We as adults, we just say, I'm going to ignore that old lady. I'm going to ignore that truck. Let me watch these little kids. Do you understand? You need to minimize those experiences. And through experience, over time, you will develop your defensive driving strategy, your speed control strategy. It won't happen overnight, Jay. It's going to take some time. But you are making the first step by asking a professional. What is our learning target for success? Why teens struggle with driving? I am your host. I'm a state certified driving instructor. Testing in progress. I want to welcome you in. Every time you can drive, Jay, get out there and drive. To the mall, back home. To school, back home. To grandma's, back home. Any little short trips where you go down to the end of the block, you stop. S-T-O-P. Then you look left. It's clear. You look right. Oh, it's not clear. And you practice pulling out from your street onto the main thoroughfare. Also, when you go into a busy shopping mall area, you have people who don't care about drivers. They're going to walk in front of you. The little girl, the little boy, the old man, the old lady, a whole family. You have to have confidence and be patient. I made some videos on that. You just have to look through. Let's continue, girl. If this is bringing you value, give it a thumbs up. Let's keep going, such as navigating, adjusting the controls in the car, and monitoring traffic, which is one of the most important things. It's going to be rush hour very soon. From 2 to 5 p.m. is the most dangerous time. Why? We have young drivers getting out of school. We have people coming home. We have people who are tired. And as E mentioned, it's Friday. So learning targets for success. Why teens struggle with driving. It's a Friday. Let's look at our emotional building blocks. I'm kind. I'm going to stay kind regardless of how I rock. I am definitely very peaceful because driving can change your social emotional attitude. I am definitely friendly and I try to be confident, but also I'm very humble. Remember, this emotional building block changes all the time for our teens. Adults, our emotional building block stays more constant and consistent. Let's continue. Memory and recall, the ability to remember to apply the rules. A yield sign. A kid just came out. I got to slow down. The yield sign is broken. That still yield? You still yield. The light is not working. Do I run through the intersection? No, you yield. Four-way stop. Okay? Pedestrian crossing. Situational awareness. So important. Let's clap on that. Situational awareness. Situational awareness, recognizing and reacting to the environmental cues. What does this mean? You're in a school. It's the last day of school. Don't you think everyone's going to be burning rubber, including the teachers, to get out of there? Simmer down a minute. Rest. Relax. Be the last one out. Help your favorite driving instructor to his or her car. Make sure your locker's cleaned out. You got football practice. You got golf coming up, right? Situational awareness is so important because it helps you recognize the environmental cues such as road signs, pedestrian crossings, the changing traffic light patterns, and requires experience and attentiveness. We're talking about this brain, baby. Adapt to conditions. What does this mean? Teen drivers may struggle with adapting to adverse conditions like rain, snow, fog. They lack the experience. In terms of driving tests, you need to be looking at some of my information because I do quick 30-second, 10-second driver test clips. You should be looking at those. You should be subscribing. And if you see value, you're going to subscribe because you got to feel like, man, this guy's talking real good. Okay, let's talk about stress and anxiety, a huge area, right? Students are taking their finals. It's been a stressful week. Stressful for your teachers, stressful for your principals, stressful for teens. Performance anxiety. We all have to perform. I have to perform in about 9 minutes to teach someone how to drive. And my emotional building block, I'm still confident, I'm friendly, and I'm brave. I also want to be humble. I want to be peaceful. Peaceful is the bow that wraps around driving. Be peaceful. I found your page. You're helping me. I'm anxious. I got you. Beth, you better subscribe. Don't play with me. It's real. And if you see the value, you're like, I'm going to watch all these videos because I go live all the time. Let's talk about this stress and anxiety. You're going to have stress from your parents. You better get an A on that test. And what if I don't? You're going to move out. I got to pass my driving test. That's pressure. Because every 6 weeks, at the end of the 6-week cycle, we give a test. Students are scared. They're shaking. They're nervous. I, as an adult and the authority figure, need to support them, need to help them. And that's what a good instructor does. They don't scream. They don't yell. They point to the direction you need to go. They tell you in advance. There's so many levels here. You need to be subscribing to the channel. You need to be giving it a thumb up. And we need more questions coming in. So stress management. How do you handle stress? You maintain your speed. Heavy traffic. It's heavy traffic right now. Aggressive driving. It's the challenge for inexperienced drivers and experienced drivers. As an experienced driver, I'm going to maintain the speed limit. I'm going to have my AC on, make sure my mirrors are good. I'm not going to let someone put pressure on me. But if you're a new driver, you're like, oh, what do I do? They're tailgating me. And I understand, okay? So stress management. You got to manage your stress. Ladies and gentlemen, I love you. I will go live later. Bye.